Okay, we're back, and you said that you married your wife, my mother, December 21st, 1974.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And the rest of that story is I had just graduated from Ranger School, which I'd mentioned earlier about that elite training for Army folks, on the, let me think, I think it was the 15th of December. But anyway,
With that.
it was like 7 or 10 days earlier. And when you go through this training, you usually lose about 15 to 20 pounds. So you come out pretty scrawny because they don't feed you very much, part of putting the stress on you. And they give you burr cuts where, I mean, you got maybe a quarter of an inch of hair on your head throughout the entire training. So I had just finished that training and I had come back to Northwest Arkansas to get married. And here I was in my uniform that I had bought before I went to training, which was kind of baggy. I had one little ribbon on it because I was now active duty second lieutenant. I had one ribbon on it. And the ROTC guys who were now juniors and seniors, who I
When you bet, don't
knew very well. Okay, I won't bang. Knew very well. Came to be the honor guard, so to speak. And they all had sabers, and we came out, after the wedding, we came out and they raised the sabers, and Christy and I came out underneath the sabers through a saber walk. What was interesting is here I was, a scrawny second lieutenant with no hair, one little ribbon, and all these ROTC guys were still wearing their ROTC uniform with full heads of hair and all of their ROTC ribbons, which usually was about 5 or 6 rows of ribbon by the time they were juniors and seniors. So they looked all very impressive, and I looked sort of almost like an afterthought.
Very nice.
But that was, okay,
Oh, keep going.
I'm ready. No.
Okay. All right. So your first daughter is Misty.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Misty growing up. What kind of personality did she have? Hard questions now on the cuff.
What kind of personality did Misty have?
Or what stands out to you about Misty?
Let's see, what kind of personality did she have? She was very active, very involved, liked to do things that I was doing, whether it was fixing things around the house or working on the car or things like that. She was a lot like me in terms of being focused on the task, getting things done, being very organized, being sort of a type A personality rather than laid back type B. Okay, that's what she was like.
What kind of activities was she doing in like high school or like growing up?
Oh, and I was thinking when she was really young.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
In high school, she was the manager of the football team for 2 years, which is like the coach's assistants, and they did a lot of the work that had to be done. She was before that. Before we moved to where she did her junior and senior year, she was very involved in dance, and what other things did she do? She was a good student. She was a valedictorian, and she worked hard, studied hard, and
Good. Enough about her.
Okay.
Let's go on to your other daughter. So tell us a little bit about your other daughter.
my other daughter was Carrie, who was the wild one, who was active, who was playful, who was energetic, who was problematic, who was undisciplined. She would, I wish I'd kept my notes from her wedding reception.
We don't have to tell them everything.
I can remember as a little kid, one time she woke up from her nap and she runs out the front door and says, "I'm here now. It's time to play," as if the other kids outside had not been playing. Then it takes her to get them to play. I can also remember a time, I think it was in first grade. And this probably goes back to my parenting skills and my being more of the playful one rather than the disciplinary and being in charge of raising the kids. But anyway, she was in first grade. We were in Germany, and my wife Christy and a friend of ours had both left to go to Paris because on a tour, so to speak. And this female friend's husband was in the Army, and he was a friend of mine, and they had 2 girls, and we had 2 girls. And we decided, hey, we're going to take our girls on Saturday and get on the train, great train system in Germany, and go to Karlsruhe, which was probably about 45 minutes away by train, because they had a real neat zoo there. So we were going to go to the zoo, take the girls to the zoo, and just make a day out of it. So anyway, Misty gets dressed, our older daughter, and she's wearing shorts down to just above her knees and wearing a nice shirt and whatnot, color coordinated and everything. So she looked nice. And then Carrie comes out of the bedroom with this wild t-shirt on and this little skirt that we called the paw print skirt, which we bought when she was probably 4 or 5, and now she was a first grader, so it was too small for her.
My phone just died.
And again,